Nigeria's education system encompasses 3 different sectors. Basic education, 9 years. That is 6 years for primary school. Then 3 years for junior secondary. Post-basic, which is senior secondary education, 3 years. And tertiary education, 4 to 6 years depending on the program or course of study. According to the Universal Basic Education Act 2004, basic education is by law compulsory for all children of school age in Nigeria. In public schools, it is provided free through the Universal Basic Education UBE, which is backed by legislation.
The Nigerian Constitution has made it very clear the responsibility of education of every child, and our Constitution, Section 18, subsection 1, talks about government must direct policies towards equal and adequate educational opportunities for all, and the Section 3 of that, subsection 3 of Section 18 says it is government responsibility to eradicate illiteracy and must give free, compulsory, universal basic education for free secondary school, free and up to free university. Now, if we are not doing this, honestly, with those 3 girls coming up here, I bend my head in shame. Government is liable.
Every government in Nigeria, federal, state and local, shall according to law provide free, compulsory and universal basic education for every child of primary and junior secondary school age.
Federal Ministry of Education, in line with this administration's agenda, will continue to consider the improvement of education as a top priority.
But then, what really is the free education policy? By the international human rights law, primary education shall be compulsory and free of charge. Secondary and higher education shall be made progressively free of charge.
Omumu bisim bido mepe na ala obula ole okwa ndị ọchịchị Federal Capital Territory Nigeria yọrọ ọmụmụ ole ihe nkwado a na-enye ya kedu otu esi iji nkwado niile ahụ eme ihe ụdị ndị nkụzi ole ụmụ akwụkwọ na ndị gụchara n'akwụkwọ ka ha na-atụpụta n'ebe ọmụmụ ala anyị iji nweta nwanye ọsịsa ajụjụ ndị a soro nye anyị n'emume Leaves and Worms ebe a na-akọwapụta ma kọwamie ihe n'izu ụka ọbụla na mgbakọ ndị AD4 TV Radio nke onye ọkammụta Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism ma nwekwa nkwado ndị otu MacArthur Foundation. Ohela agafekwala gị.
No doubt a very good plan to reduce illiteracy and poverty globally, Nigeria inclusive. But then, in the true sense of it, is there free education in Nigeria? According to UNICEF, 1 in every 5 of the world's out-of-school children is in Nigeria. Even though primary education is said to be officially free and compulsory, about 10.5 million of the country's children aged 5 to 14 years are not in school. This reality is even more obvious and visible with internally displaced persons, not just in war-torn zones alone, but here in the FCT, where the standard is expected to be higher, and the capital is the model to other states across the country. For displaced persons who have relocated from states troubled by insurgency, bandit attacks, and other forms of insecurity, free and compulsory education is too far from reality.
In 2017, when the school was being put in place, but it's not functioning because nobody who is will fund the teachers. We knock at the doors of various NGOs, government body, to intervene so that they can sponsor the teachers to fund the school. But all our efforts during that time has gone in vain. In 2018, we decided with 3 volunteer teachers from the camp. That is I was included, Enoch Johanna and Ms. Hanatu. We decided to establish the school in 2018 with 85 pupils. The main idea is to give back to our society, to educate these children, to give them a good foundation of education.
A visit to some displaced persons camps in the FCT by AD4 TV radio revealed so many issues, from what government of the day portrays about efforts to ensure free education for all. One, that basic education from primary 1 to 6 in most of the displaced persons camps were never initiated, supported or funded by government, but by NGOs, individuals and private groups.
In 2019, we have about 8 volunteer teachers who are regular volunteers, and we have some couple of 5 volunteers that are coming outside, that they will come and deliver their lesson and go back. From there, we flag up a campaign, 1 hour is better in the life of the, 15 naira can keep a child in school. The first people who buy into that idea is the Pathfinder International organization who buy into the idea, and we have 172 pupils for that time, and we have 272. They pay 172,000 naira monthly, and this money did not go to the teachers alone. It goes to the school maintenance, feeding program for the school, and also to give the teachers a stipend. This school is basically exists by some of the philanthropists, some of NGOs. Like they see that the need of education is very high in this country.
School that we are managing here is owned by one organization. We have been complaining to government that our children, they need to go to school. There's no school here, so nothing has been done. So the school is being, it is one organization called IDFP that has a school here, Malaysian Garden IDP campus in Gogo. So they got my contacts in Gogo, so they now trace this Malaysian Garden. So when they came here, so their own is just to interfere if there's a religion crisis or tribalism like this. If there's a crisis, they used to intervene. So, but when they came here, we tell them that look at our problem. School is our problem because there's no school here. Look at what is happening. They now say it's okay. They are going to do something about it. They promised us that they are coming back when they finish the arrangement. So as they finished the arrangement, they now came back. They brought some teachers. They took even some of the IDPs because there's some that they have their teachers among them. They have completed their schools.
Secondly, that even after establishing the schools and making several attempts to get the attention of the Universal Basic Education Board to intervene or take over, the efforts of these NGOs and private individuals were met with deaf ears to the pleas of this disadvantaged group who are far from their homes and forced to manage life under harsh conditions here in the FCT.
You know, because they are in IDP, they become the primary responsibility of the Ministry of Humanitarian and Disaster Management. It becomes their primary responsibility. But again, it means therefore, in my opinion, that they are supposed to lead on everything that concerns these people. And so they are also supposed to liaise with the Ministry of Education to provide education component, liaise with the Ministry of Health to provide health component, and so on and so forth. So it's like the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management becomes their primary parent. So they run point on all of this activity, but it doesn't exonerate all other ministries and agencies responsible for giving these people a good life.
This school was commissioned by the Northeast Development Commission. Why we invited them is let them know that they have the Northeast children in this camp, and they're the one who is developing the Northeast. If they do not develop these children, they do not develop the community, the states. But with the aims, we tell them that day in 2019 September, we tell them that day that none of the teachers are on salary. None during that time around. None of them is getting 1,000 per month. But we tell them this is the situation on ground, and yet there's no any response from the commission up to now.
Ilimi shine ginshikin ci gaban kowace irin al'umma. Wane irin kima ne hukumar gudanarwa na birnin tarayya ta baiwa ilimi? Kasafin nawa ne aka ware wa bangaren ilimi? Ta yaya ake amfani da waɗannan kuɗaɗen da aka ware wa ilimi? Menene matsayin ingancin malamai da ɗalibai da waɗanda suka kammala manyan makarantu da kuma su kansu makarantun da ake gudanar da harkokin koyo da koyarwa? Domin samun amsoshi, kasance tare da Leaves and Worms a cikin shirin baje koli da faɗakarwa wanda ake gabatarwa a kowane mako a tashar AD4 TV Radio, wanda cibiyar Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism tare da haɗin gwiwar gidauniyar MacArthur Foundation suka ɗauki nauyi. A kasance tare da shirin.
That most of the schools in the IDP camps are made of temporary structures and very unconducive for learning. The children are forced to learn in places that are extremely hot. They are frequently exposed to rainstorms during the wet season.
Okay, everybody, say woo. Let's count it. How many? 1.
The children who are supposed to be totally focused are often distracted and their learning disrupted from time to time.
The situation is very bad, and it is not good enough for them to be in an open space like this while the teaching is going on. You see, if you look at the side, we just put the tarpaulin to cover the place so that even the passerby will not, like the children will not be looking at the people who have been passing by. Why we put this is when their parents are going, they will say, oh, this is my daddy, this is my daddy. Why? This is the reason. And when it is rain is disturbing, seriously disturbing, and the school will put on hold, the class will put on hold. And that is why I told you, when I meet with them, I was opportunity to meet with one of their chairman of their workers. I tell him that, okay, we need to have a space for the children. If you go to the back also, it is open, and we need to put things in place.
As someone who is a trained teacher, I understand the impact of environment on the child's ability to assimilate. And I can tell you that all of those things I saw on TV does not look like an environment that can spur a child to learn. And that is why, to my own mind, I feel that these children can be conveyed to a regular school. So since it's IDP, it makes it even easy. we can have a government-owned school somewhere, and then these children are conveyed there every day and conveyed back to their camp, so that they can be given a better environment to learn. And you see, most times the education in this place, because a few ones I watched, I would not say authoritatively that I was there, so this is something I saw from the media. I noticed that this school system there are being set up by NGOs, and volunteers are there doing the teaching. There is no way you can compare what is free and what you have paid for.
Up to this point, the UBE is yet to make available its curriculum for use at these displaced children's schools, despite several attempts and pleas to do so by the volunteers.
When we start up this school, the UBEB, in a company with name FEMA, they came here, they assess, they say it is well started up. When they are going on their way going, we ask them to provide us with some necessary school materials, like the curriculum for the FCT, because we will want to work within the curriculum of the FCT. They said they are coming back on Monday, but since 2018 they did not come back. The Monday has not come.
There are other relevant government stakeholders contacted who are supposed to provide teachers, since the schools are free, with teaching provided by volunteers. These agencies also turned deaf ears.
I always tell them, even though you are not willing to pay these teachers who are voluntarily working here, deploy your teachers who are on your payroll. Let them come here. The truth of the matter, the distance for these children to go to LES nearby is very far away. They have to trek for kilometers. And if you look at these children, it's hardly for them to go during the rainy season. And we have a lot of issue of accident before when they are going, and the children stop going to school because of these issues. But yet, nothing has been done for the teachers. The teachers has not been deployed, nor any textbooks from the UBEB or from any government officials that, this is what government has given you. We have not recorded anything from them.
That even appeals to carry out assessment of the only source of education for the set of people have never received any positive response.
When we asked them, as I said, we asked them to help us with the curriculum. They did not come. We go ahead to Education Resource Center. We purchased the curriculum from there for the FCT. And after all, we still go ahead. We affiliate with government school, LEL Lokogoma, because we can't operate on our own. We say, we need someone who will be supervising our work. From there, we go to them, we affiliate with them. When our children are up to the like primary year 6, they will go to that school and write their common entrance. All the question paper is coming down from there. That is what we have been doing. Because as I said, we know why we established the school. Why we established the school is to give the solid background. And we can't teach what is not in the curriculum. We can't teach what we have, but we must get the appropriate thing that the children need to learn, whether they are in the camp or they are not in the camp. Because these children, it is not privilege for them to be in school. It is their right, and it is their due right to be in school.
Also, after acquiring the primary education, most of the teenagers are unable to go any further for lack of funding and support.
I have finished my primary school here, and I don't have the money to enter to just one. That's why I've been staying at home now they have resumed school for 3 weeks, but I did not go because I don't have money.
Ẹ̀kọ́ ni ìpìlẹ̀ ìdàgbàsókè gbogbo àwùjọ. ipò wo ni àwọn alákòóso FCT gbé ètò ẹ̀kọ́ sí gan? Èló ni owó tí wọ́n yà sọ́tọ̀ fún un nínú ètò ìṣúná? Báwo ni wọ́n ṣe ná owó tí wọ́n yà sọ́tọ̀ fún un? Kí ni ìgbéléwọ̀n àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́, olùkọ́ni àti àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gboyè tí àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga wa ń pèsè gan? Fún àwọn ìdáhùn lóríṣiríṣi, darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò Leaves and Worms, ètò akọ́nilọ́gbọ́n àti ìlanilọ́yẹ tí yóò máa wáyé sí ojú ìwòran yín ní ọ̀sẹ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ lórí ẹ̀rọ móhùnmáwòrán AD4 TV Radio, Wọlé Ṣóyínká Center for Investigative Journalism pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn MacArthur Foundation ló ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀. Ẹ má pàdánù rẹ̀ o.
The list can go on and on. But what is the response of the government to all of these discoveries?
We have been asking. I have contacted some of the people from working with in UBEB, and I tell them some of our challenges. Like the place you are seeing, we need expansion because of the numbers of children we have. We have 262 pupils in school, and we need like facilities, textbooks. We wrote a letter to them, like we requesting for the textbooks, of which that our letter is not yet being approved, and they did not supply these textbooks right now. And I tell them that, okay, you have Empower Teach, you have, what are these Empower Teach doing? We have the opportunity to be in an Empower Teach platform, but deploy them here. As far as if we have the teachers here, it will go in a long way to educate these children. I go to their offices for several times, but they will tell me that their boss is not around, their boss is not on seat every day. To the extent I get tired of it and nothing is coming. The federal government, the UBEB, purposely for this school, nothing has been done, and I did not receive anything. And I'm the first person who started as the head teacher. I'm the one who registered the children, 85 pupils who started with them, and up to now, I did not receive anything from them. Maybe it is on the way, but not on ground. I don't see anything.
The reality on ground is a clear indication of the FCT Education Authority's negligence and abandonment of the education of displaced persons' children to their faith. And the Education Authority had only been paying lip service to the welfare of its citizens and are either not interested or nonchalant about the education of its future leaders.
Education is a right, is a basic fundamental human right for the Nigerian child. It's a right. They have a right to good education. And by the way, they are already in a very serious problem by living in IDP camp. How do you expect them to get out of that life of poverty? The only way out is to empower them with education. Help them gain the skills that will help them to get out of that camp. So it is very important, because they are in IDP camp doesn't make them any less human. It doesn't make them any less relevant than the people who are currently in their parents' home. So it is important that they get education, and whatever it takes, the government should be able to do that. And I think technology has made it very possible for those children to even get education while in the IDP camp.